Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I'm Sam Harder.
And we got no Carter today, but never fear, we are joined by... First of all, I just found out a writer for Beavis and Butthead, fucking legendary, and co-host of the Skin Suit podcast. It's our friend...
Say your name.
Fifi Dosch.
Welcome to the show,
He never tells anyone to do that. He just points.
Oh, I just like putting people on.
No,
the spot.
I know. I don't feel well taken care of. No, yes, not at all.
All right, let me get you six.
I don't have a prep sheet.
Okay, well,
I got a limoncello LaCroix.
Hey,
that's what I got.
That's the second best flavor, though.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, what
You know what? Hot take. I like coconut.
I do too.
It's good.
Yeah.
Not
It's good.
bad.
Haters.
I put that like top 5.
Yeah,
for sure.
haters out there. They
What's
don't know
the
nothing.
purple berry one?
I think it's just a wild berry.
Wild
Yeah,
berry.
something like that.
I love that one.
Well, and then they're like, oh, coconut tastes gross. Like, it's LaCroix. It has no flavor. It's filthy cocaine water.
Yeah, that's true. Do they have a pomegranate one too?
They do. Oh, they
Yeah.
got it all.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ride hard for key lime. That's my goated number
Classic.
Hell yeah, man.
one. Yeah. But Fifi just told me she's writing for Beavis and Butthead. How is that?
You usually do your research better.
I
Rivers.
know. Well,
it's a really fun job. It's interesting because I probably watch Paramount Plus every single day because I fall asleep to Star Trek probably every night. I've never once seen an ad for Beavis and Butthead on Paramount Plus, and it's so good. It's just dumb fun, and it's just a good time. And I hope more people watch it because we're quite proud of it, and it's very fun.
That's legendary shit. People around our age, everybody has that moment where their parents were like, "No," and so now it's punk rock as fuck forever.
Can I toot my own horn a bit?
Please.
I was told by one of the writers there that they go, yeah, when there's a joke that freaks Mike Judge out, it's usually from you.
Oh, hey now. That's
And I almost cried. I'm so proud of that. I will absolutely broadcast this.
amazing compliment.
I know.
Hell yeah. Well, this is Fifi's second appearance on the show. We did this over Zoom back in October of 2020 on Corona Diaries 92. So it's finally great to have you here in the stew, as they say. Yeah,
it's good to be back. This is a great show.
Are you still playing the mandolin? I think that was the last time I was talking to you.
I'm really not.
No?
That's one. Well, here I've discovered I'm autistic since the last time I was on the pod.
fair enough.
And that's just one of the fucking many hobbies I got super hyper fixated on, and then now I'm not into anymore.
That happened with COVID.
Yeah.
For many people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
yeah.
autism had something to do with it.
Well, yeah. Well, getting an autism hyperfixation, it's like turning into a werewolf, and it's like you just wake up one day and it's like you're back in human form. It's like, oh no, what did I do? What have I been doing? Did I actually send emails about starting a Korn tribute band? I did. Oh no.
How far into the process did that get?
Oh, it blew up in the hangar.
No one returned the email.
No,
Who
they
did you say? I'm on mandolin.
Yeah. Korn probably does have a mandolin.
Ooh, wait, but you could be like bluegrass corn and be like corn huskers spelled with a K, something like that. The corn husks.
They're from Bakersfield.
The Baco.
That sounds like a thing they do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They got a. Have you been to Bakersfield? Have you seen the street that they have named for them?
Excuse me?
I've talked about this before, but it's one of my favorite things. So Bakersfield is home to 3 absolute music legends: Buck Owens and Merle Haggard, the 2 country stars. But outselling all of them, frankly, the much bigger act is Korn. Merle Haggard and Buck Owens have 2 gigantic streets that crisscross in the middle of Bakersfield, and Korn was given a thing that's literally called the Korn Row.
Oh.
And it is the unpaved dirt road that runs next to the railroad track behind City Hall, and there's just kids back there smoking meth and stuff.
That fucking rules.
It's great.
I love that. Korn is good. They're very good. I'm not being cute and ironic right now. They're a good band.
And the street sign has the font and everything.
Oh, that's outstanding.
But I love that it's not a paved road.
Yeah.
It's just an access road for the railroad company.
Korn is barely even metal. They're basically like emo for people who smoke out of light bulbs. Really give them a listen. I'm telling you, we're not giving them their due.
I mean, I had multiple Korn albums
Yeah?
back in the day. I contributed to that street sign.
I followed the leader. What can I say? Hell yeah. It's 1999. You told me Todd McFarlane's involved.
When I was 12, I was like, that is the coolest album cover I've ever seen in my fucking life.
And then Issues came out, and I was like, actually, that one's bullshit.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if any of you are following Limp Bizkit these days.
Oh, sure.
But Fred Durst, they're still making music. He has a song, I believe it's called dad vibes, and it's about rocking out and being cool even though you're a dad now. And I love that for him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He deserves that.
Yeah, we've kind of talked about this before of like the reclaiming of everything. I always say that time flattens out everything. So something that you might have had an extreme opinion one way or the other on 30 years ago, it's just part of that good part of your brain when you were young.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, if you were one of those people that was like, fuck the Backstreet Boys or whatever, like you were like very anti-pop music. Now you hear it and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're good. They're like, that's the only, like, I remember, not to get all millennial up in here, but like, do you remember like TRL when they'd have the countdown of the popular things that like, they would have fucking Britney Spears and Korn and Limp Bizkit on the same block of programming because it was all in the mix of like popular. Like imagine Chapel Roan getting thrown in with some metal band on something now because they're both on that level. Like it's unthinkable.
Yeah.
Although all that was, they're just on the same labels. Now when I look back at TRL, I'm like, the whole thing was a scam. I bought Marilyn Manson's album off a lie.
Yeah.
By the way, I was hanging out with some people the other day, and a couple of the people were like maybe like 24 or something, and somehow Marilyn Manson came up, and one of these younger people just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, I've heard that name." I'm like, "Oh, bro, I didn't need that today."
Yeah. Jesus.
I always liked the Limp Bizkit song "In Together Now" with Method Man.
Yeah, of
I
course.
recently found out it was produced by DJ Premier. Yeah,
really? Wow.
Yeah, who did not originally want to do the song because he thought Limp Bizkit were just kind of like corny culture vultures. But then he found out Method Man wanted to do it, and
yeah,
Fred Durst kind of poked and prodded at him until he agreed.
I could probably look this up. Was Limp Bizkit Interscope? Is that how they got pressured into doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
By the way, if you listen to the song Nookie all the way to the end, like how way back when they'd have like a little like skit or whatever after the song, if you kept listening, you let it play and then you just hear like who I presume is Wes Borland go, "Yeah, that fucking ruled," and then Fred goes, "I'll show you what fucking rules," and then you just hear like a smash of like him breaking some obviously very expensive piece of recording equipment. And then everyone going, "Fuck yeah," and then they just start breaking more things, and I'm like, if this isn't the fucking Meal Yo of 1999, I don't know what is.
Jimmy Iovine's paying for it, man. Fuck it. Who cares? Well, I found something. I was thumbing through my most regular of publications, my Morning Constitutional, of course, Business Insider, and I found a fun little op-ed I wanted to share with you guys. This is written by a psychologist based out of Arizona named Dr. Angela Kinslow, and the headline is amazing. "I drive a Cybertruck and I'm sick of people flipping me off. I wish they understood how helpful this car is to me."
Is it helpful in burning to death in unquenchable flames? Because that's what I heard it does best, you fucking dummy.
Are you talking about the Cybertruck or Arizona?
Well, oh boy.
What?
This is one of those things where I feel like you drive like an asshole and then you're like, "It's my Cybertruck." Why is the reason people are honking all the time.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me.
I flip off every Cybertruck I see, though, so I do believe her on that. I just don't care or feel anything.
Yeah. This is,
is this real? This thing, it can't be real.
It's real, and it's one of those things where I know there's a parallel universe somewhere where I got a master's degree and became an English teacher, and if I was teaching rhetoric at this point, and you're breaking down ethos, logos, and pathos, this is someone desperately grabbing at pathos in a way that is kind of perfect. So I'm just going to read this and y'all stop me when you want.
Do you know what that meant? What you just said?
I feel like I could pretend that I do.
I'm not even going to try to pretend.
I feel like I could answer in a way that keeps all the beach balls bouncing in the air. But if I do it for too long, I will crumble in a shame puddle.
I feel like I dropped out of high school, right? So sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe everyone knows that except me. But then I have to actually question it.
So
I think pathos means big gay feelings.
Not entirely wrong. So when you're making a speech, there's ethos, ethics. You're appealing to somebody's senses, morality. There's logos, logic, appealing to somebody's logical brain, and then there's pathos, their pathology, their empathy, their sympathy. You're trying to get this person on your side by being like, this affects me and people you know, that kind of thing, right? So with this, she's trying to do that, but this is how she comes off.
I don't know a single person who drives a Cybertruck. Why would I care about them?
I don't know. And this is why it was shocking to me. And I think I've said this on the program before. And if you out there listening spot this, please, we got the Discord, linktree.com/thegoodspod. I'm on Blue Sky at Rivers Langley. If you see a woman driving a Cybertruck, I want to see it. I don't fucking believe it exists. That's why I think this is like a weird psyop, because this is literally the first woman I've heard that owns a Cybertruck, because normally it's just rich guys who aged out of shooting up their high school. So, but anyway, so this is how she starts. I'm a psychologist who drives long distances to see patients in towns throughout Arizona. And when I arrive, I step out of my Tesla Cybertruck. And I don't have the fatigue that typically comes with driving for hours. On the days I travel, I often have a full schedule of Social Security disability psychological assessments to conduct. It's mentally exhausting work that demands focus and compassion.
That's one of those things where I barely understand what she does, but she's trying to make it sound like the most important thing in the entire world.
Oh, I understand what she does. She works for the mental health arm of the federal government, which means that, ironically, her job is about to get nuked by...
Oh, there we have it. There it is.
She's walking right into a cave with a bear in it. She doesn't even see the goddamn bear.
And this is a little leading with the chin. I deal with the disabled who can't leave, and mock me if you will, but I will drive my Cybertruck to their aid.
That's right. Pathos, folks.
Do you hate disabled people?
Yeah.
When you flip me off, you're flipping off a disabled person.
I'll tell you who I'm taking my Cybertruck to. Helen Keller.
She says, I credit my Cybertruck that I have affectionately named Brick House for helping me arrive.
You deserve it. Lady, you deserve it.
For helping me arrive for the day without feeling drained. My road to driving a Cybertruck began in 2012 when I was a doctoral student commuting weekly from Phoenix to Tucson for an advanced clinical training. Those drives up and down Interstate 10 were brutal. Now,
okay, quick question. How did she afford that?
I mean, hey,
going through that program and buying a Cybertruck.
Well, she started off with her original Tesla is what she's talking about. I think she got a Model 3, and just wait till I tell you what she named that one, because it's way more fucked. But I did want to point out that if you've never been to Arizona, the drive time between Phoenix and Tucson is 1 hour and 44 minutes. Brutal. Couldn't take it.
I don't get people who name their car.
She said,
I hate that. Somebody was like, well, you use your car every day, so why would you not want to name it? Somebody told me that. I was like, do you fucking name your toilet?
She said, I'd have to pull over and take a quick nap to finish the drive. And I was like, lady, you have bigger problems than your car if you can't drive an hour and 44 minutes.
I'm sorry. Are you a fucking European? An hour and 45 minutes? I can't get to the fucking beach in that time. Here's the thing. I guarantee this was a fucking psyop by our current government who's saying, make hating on Cybertrucks sound ableist somehow.
So she'd have to take a nap to finish the drive, but I would still arrive home exhausted. And in 2021, I leased a Tesla Model 3 full self-driving, which I affectionately named Milady.
A woman did not write this.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, this is like a Reddit guy from 2013.
This is a fucking 4chan deep fake if I've ever read one.
And it's literally spelled M-A-apostrophe-lady. Milady. Like the meme.
Why did she have to write it down? Ever? Why would she put the apostrophe?
Over the next 3 years, Milady and I drove more than 35,000 miles crisscrossing Arizona and conducting psychological examinations in rural towns. Milady became more than a car. She was a lifeline that kept me safe on Arizona's back roads and highways.
This car keeps me alive.
This person who watches The Watchmen, a psychologist that needs a deep psychological examination.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Interestingly, I never experienced any backlash when I was driving the Model 3, but in 2024, I knew I wanted to purchase the next car. And since the vehicle is technically for my business, and this is the weird thing where I'm like, I almost believe this part because Arizona is so fucking weird. It says that since the vehicle is technically for my business, it had to be big enough for a specific tax code, and the Cybertruck was the only one that fit the bill.
I feel like even like Jordan Peterson would read this and go, lady, cut the shit already. Like, I'm in a benzo withdrawal and this sounds insane.
Then he pulls out a banjo and sings the Rainbow Connection.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely not anymore.
It used to be just a connection.
So this is a thing they do now. They make a tax code that makes it more accessible to buy a large vehicle, and it's cheaper. That's why you see all those huge like Ram 350s or whatever the fuck they're called.
Right.
Because people, they're cheaper than getting a fucking regular car sometimes.
Yeah, and I can see that for like Arizona too, especially where it's like that state's so fucking crazy. Like, you know,
Yeah.
people sleep on Arizona. Everybody like focuses on Florida. It's like, folks, Arizona and Ohio, just as weird, if not weirder.
Yeah. I never see giant vehicles actually towing or carrying anything.
Oh no,
Never. There's a reason every like landscaper and like maintenance crew in LA like drives around on the tiniest ass little Ford pickup.
Yeah, they
That
have
can
like
load every one thing easily.
they have like a Toyota van you've never seen before in your life, like some type of make or model that you're just like, what? Did you get that directly from Japan? Because I've never seen that in my fucking life.
Yeah,
And then they weld shit to the side of it. That's how you know. Big trucks never have a fucking scratch on them.
No. Although I will say, though I have never seen a woman driving a Cybertruck, I have now actually seen a pool guy using a Cybertruck as a work vehicle. And it was at the house right next to the Menendez brothers murder house in Beverly Hills.
A
So
lot going on in that story.
a lot happened on that street. She says, my long-awaited Cybertruck reservation eventually came through, but I then hesitated to upgrade to the Cybertruck because of all the controversy surrounding Elon Musk. I had already bought a different vehicle with driver assist, but it just didn't compare to Tesla's full self-driving. The exhaustion I felt after driving for hours in the other vehicle was extreme.
This is like one of those stories that like surrounds a recipe you're trying to look up, and it's like, just tell me
how many fucking breadcrumbs I
do
need.
I need salted butter or unsalted butter? Fuck your little townhouse in Martha's Vineyard.
So she says, a health scare landed me in the ER and reminded me how crucial it is to minimize stress. Tesla's full self-driving significantly reduces the stress of driving all over Arizona.
She's literally trying to argue this car keeps her alive.
Straight up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because again, ethos and logos no longer apply. Got to go straight for the heart. The reactions that I get when driving the Cybertruck have been surprising. It's fun to see kids wave and snap pictures of my quirky looking little stainless steel ride. Their innocent responses are truly heartwarming. What's heartbreaking though.
Who's ever looked at it and said quirky?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever fucking done that before?
Well, I will say, because I'm a tour guide, so I'm driving around people from other countries quite a bit, and they do find it bizarre, and they will take pictures of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Of
course.
If you're not from America, you're like, well, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. It's how I reacted when I saw a smart car for the first time when I visited Paris in 2000.
I mean, if I see a guy on a unicycle driving by, I will snap a photo.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean his life isn't foolish and contemptible.
So the kids, she likes the way the kids respond, but what's heartbreaking though is the way many adults respond. The general public thinks my truck is a political statement and not something that helps me. It's like driving a Cybertruck makes me a target for adults' opinions on Elon Musk. Why? A close friend even refused to ride in my Cybertruck, sharing his disdain for the Tesla CEO. I was like,
I don't believe that for a second.
I kind of do somehow. I don't know.
And she's a therapist?
She's a psychologist.
I feel it's like come to me if you would like your BPD to be more destructive, because if I got some ideas for you.
Yeah, I can gaslight the shit out of you.
She says, I've been flipped off, mean mugged, and even given many thumbs down. Like,
Worst of all.
why would you do this instead of this? Like,
Some people aren't as crude, I guess.
Yeah, they're Christians.
Yeah.
I wanna jeer this person with my hands, but I can't go all the way. How many suckets have you gotten? That's the real question. So yeah, I've been given many thumbs down, and I've also experienced being shouted out in traffic and others aggressively merging in front of me.
Oh shit, an aggressive merge.
I'm like, well, part of that is because you're using the self-driving function and you've allowed 5 car lengths between you and the next vehicle. So fuck off. I've done this before to Teslas because I know what you're doing. You're reading your phone.
This seems as good a time as any to interject that I would say daily on my social media, fans of Elon Musk tell me I should be gassed to death.
Oh, cool.
So why don't you take your thumbs down and shove them up your father's ass? How about that?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit that happened to you.
Exactly. Also, it's Tesla, it shouldn't be using gas.
I wonder what this lady would say.
Hey now.
What the fuck? Like, what would this lady said if you said that? What do you think? Would she just be like, well, I mean, that's part of life,
No,
I guess.
Yeah, I think that, she'd be like, no, she would do the liberal thing of like, well, that is bad, but not such that we should ever do a thing about it at all.
She says, with the added controversies since the 2025 presidential inauguration, I'm like, say it.
Yeah.
Say it. What controversy?
Which one?
Which ones? I'm concerned that people will become even more aggressive with their actions towards my Cybertruck and become physical versus just mean mugging and flipping me off.
Okay. I'm concerned that my fucking passports are in order, you fucking piece of shit.
You know who feels like that? A lot of goddamn people.
Yeah.
People who can barely walk down the street without getting fucking harassed.
Exactly. Let alone afford a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, exactly. So to be clear, I bought the truck before he became a polarizing political figure. I was like, no, you didn't. You just weren't paying attention. You're dumb as shit. I could have told you that he was an asshole fucking 10 years ago when everybody was like, he's the real Tony Stark. And you're like, Emerald Mine. Didn't actually invent anything. Wanted to call PayPal X. I cannot ignore Musk's behavior, and yet I cannot take back the money I've already spent on buying the Cybertruck. And my Cybertruck, look, it isn't just a luxury good, and it's not about trying to look cool. Driving my Cybertruck is about functionality and safety. Arizona's 2-lane highways with fatigued drivers and narrow roads can be dangerous. I was like, you know what else would be dangerous? Someone on self-driving mode in a fucking completely untested Silicon Valley money suck.
Why is she assuming everyone else is also a fatigued driver, as she puts it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone's just like me, so why are you flipping me off?
I hate to get all Californian on this lady, but fucking learn how to drive, you fucking Arizona. No, the highways are weird.
Yeah.
People die here when it rains. And we do it because we're proud.
Because we like nice weather.
Yeah.
Tesla's Cybertruck technology keeps me centered and reduces the mental toll of long drives. It's like, again, you need pills. You need pills.
Sounds pretty centered politically. Am I right?
Yeah. She says, I'm not financially able to sell or trade in the truck to avoid all the troubles. So that is another funny thing is they don't let you take it back. So if you buy a Cybertruck and you don't like it, you're stuck with the lease. You cannot return the thing. She says, it's simply not feasible. When it's time for me to purchase another vehicle, I'm sure other auto manufacturers will have a version of full self-driving and I'll be able to point my dollars towards a more affirming brand. But right now, I'm just leaning into the positives of my Cybertruck.
This is propaganda from Tesla.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I think so too. Speaking of which, a friend of the show, Grant Lyon, had a Tesla, I believe Model X, crash directly into his living room.
Oh yeah, I recall that.
Put a giant hole in his
Dave Waite.
house. Yeah, Dave Waite.
God.
Yeah, Dave Waite was in the room next door to where this happened.
Holy shit. I didn't know that.
And a tow truck showed up and hauled it away before the LAPD got there. And they were, probably not undeservingly suspicious that it was like a thing of Tesla can send out a call, be like, hey, one of our cars crashed. This is going to look bad if, there's something. So they send a tow truck. But it turns out that, no, it's actually just LA tow companies have police scanners and they just do that shit.
Yeah.
They try to beat the cops there and then beat other tow truck drivers there So anyway, everything sucks top to bottom.
Oh my goodness. What a wretched woman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And again, I think it's, very funny that she's working for the federal government as a doctor. It's like tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
You're not going to be driving much longer.
Yeah. Also, they make bumper stickers for Teslas that says, I bought this before I learned Elon Musk was a piece of shit. I feel like that, that's a very good, $8 fix to all your woes, lady.
Also, I don't believe it.
I just think that means you don't read enough.
Yeah, you didn't look it to him until fucking 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Why can't she support a non-controversial car manufacturer like Henry Ford?
Like Ford, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Or General Motors, who did nothing in Brazil.
Yeah.
At all. Don't even look at it. Don't Google those words together. Also, I read a story related about a hair transplant doctor in Massachusetts who drives a gold-wrapped Cybertruck, and he says that people won't stop flicking him off. And last week, somebody put a sticker on his car that said "Nazis fuck off," and now he wants to trade it in. But again, Tesla doesn't let you do that. So, yeah. So that's the update for the big silver doorstopper.
Oy, oy, oy.
What was he like? He was like, I'm not a Nazi. I'm just a Nazi sympathizer, guys.
Yeah. Well, he is Syrian, so that was one little thing. He's like, why is everyone mad at me? I'm just a simple hair transplant doctor from Syria. And it's like, well, you're gonna get shit from both ends, buddy.
Yeah.
So So let's just pick.
We didn't say you were a smart Nazi.
Yeah. It's like, get a normal car. That way, only one side will yell at you for who you are.
You know who I trust? The smart Nazis.
yeah, I know what's up.
Y'all, it is time. We're about to have another championship throwdown with our greatest nemesis, low energy. That's right, folks. Oh, yes. It's time for the ungodly concoction. Want to shout out our friend Chica Marks. Picked this up for us in Texas.
Yeah, I believe the Fort Worth area.
Oh,
Quick trip.
QT. Fifi, tell him what we are about to get into.
Well, it looks like we are promoting some first form energy.
Oh, we're not promoting. I want to double that down before I start talking about the CEO.
We do. So are we? So we're trashing this. You're saying?
Well, we might like it.
Well, I thought I was getting brought into to an ad read and it being professional.
Oh no.
But if we're not doing that, I will lean in. This is a very stupid looking can for assholes.
Describe it to the listeners.
Well, it's got real like man deodorant energy.
The can is camo backdrop.
Camo can, orange letters.
I mean, and it's a camo can, but the flavor is called Orange Sunrise, which I don't know. Call it Sun Blast or
Greet
something.
the dawn.
Yeah,
this is like a breakfast drink.
Yeah, you're going so heterosexual, but you drop the ball in the name.
No, it's for men who wake up early and go hunting.
It says produced in the USA, unlike that fucking Swiss Red Bull with their knives. Caffeine from green tea, huh?
That's what they all say.
That's the stuff that if you drink way too much of, you have to go to the hospital and they replace your liver and they give you a good talking to about your life.
It's got 100% your daily recommended thing of niacin, which I remember taking that way back in the day to try to beat drug tests, and it just feels like there's like burning, flaming worms running through your skin. It's not pleasant in the slightest.
Wait, so it's supposed to like cover up weed or something?
Yeah, it's supposed to I forget it. It might have been bullshit, but like you take a lot of it and it just like, I don't know, purges or whatever.
Flushes your system.
But it feels awful. Like it feels like your blood is on
Did you
fire.
pass the drug test?
I think so.
Okay.
I like that, now that marijuana is becoming more and more legal, it seems like they just have a lot of niacin laying around, so they're just like, we'll just put it in the drinks.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's it.
Yeah, it's a
We
vitamin.
ordered too much.
It's vitamin sounding.
We got this whole warehouse full. This brand is, of course, First Form, PHORM.
The can reminds me of like, I don't know if they do this where y'all are from, but like in South Dakota, like when it's hunter season, like all the Budweiser cans will be like camo cans, so you can like drink them and not distract the deer while you're getting drunk.
That
does happen.
That is a good point. They could be that fucking lame that they're going for something like that.
Oh, that's what I said. Yeah.
Is that why you think it's the sunrise? You're supposed to drink it at 4 a.m. before you go into the blind?
You get in the deer stand and you crack one of these and say what's up to Mr. Sun as he crests over the Ozarks.
Orange sunrises. It should be called like fucking Cool Blast Rush or whatever.
I think they have this. This is, according to their website, one of their limited flavors. Let's get this is everyone's favorite part of the show, Fifi.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that felt great.
Let's hear it. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And it's clear, folks. It's clear.
I don't like that. I never like when it's clear and it's supposed to be some fruity flavor.
I don't mind. It's more just like shocking when it's not clear at this
Yeah.
point. I'm like, whoa, they made it red or whatever. My favorite
smells like some almost medicine-y orange.
that is Flintstone vitamin smell. That is what that is. And
Yep.
I love Flintstone vitamins, but
You can even smell the chalkiness of the vitamin.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's whatever. I would.
Whoa, the aftertaste. Holy fuck.
Ooh,
Yikes.
weird.
Bad aftertaste.
It tastes like the smell of like old carpet.
Yeah.
The aftertaste is very bizarre.
It does.
And it came on fast. Usually it very quickly hits you. This was a creeper and then all at once.
It tastes like a restaurant you used to be able to smoke in.
Yeah.
Why are we... I hate it.
That could be the niacin in there.
What is this meant to energize us for?
Well, I'll tell you.
Podcasting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
podcasting. Yeah,
you have
this
to be
is-
so in the zone for that shit.
I feel
Yeah.
like if you were like a professional StarCraft player, you'd be like, "Nah, man, this is going to bring down our API or whatever it's called." Fucking, I don't know.
Well,
Well, I'm sure you don't want to be associated with whoever makes this, just judging by the graphic design
Yeah.
on the can.
yeah, definitely not.
Oy.
Oh, you're going to down the
You
whole
finished
thing?
it.
Oh, yeah.
You chugged it too. That's not fair. It's not fair to judge based off that. You got to slow sip the thing or just put it away.
Oh, no.
I know you're an all or nothing guy, Rivers.
I've formed my opinion already. I'm giving that 1.5.
Jesus.
It's not as bad as the Jack Harlow drink that I had last week, but it's not great.
It tastes like if a moonshiner made Robitussin. It's really bad.
This is a special brew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
I was going to be generous and give it a 2, but you guys have convinced me.
Yeah.
But no, I'm still going to give it a 2. It's bad. It's not good at all. A 2 is not even on the chart of recommendation for me.
Yeah.
Don't drink what I say unless it's 3 or higher.
What are we saying? Fifi,
I'm gonna say
out of
2.
5? 2
Yeah.
out of 5?
Oh, out of 5? No, if it's out of 5, it's a 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's closer to where I'm at. Well, just wanted you guys to know that first form. Now that we've drank it, we can't take it back.
How much caffeine is in this?
200 mgs.
Okay.
200 mgs.
I can forgive some of it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, if it's the only thing, if it was given to me,
If it was the only thing.
if it was the only thing on earth.
If you've ever been to a convenience store, you know that is not the case for energy drinks.
No, I'm just saying if I'm at some sort of hunting expedition and this is what they have, then all right, fine. So
I can't imagine you hunting.
I did. My dad took me once, and I made too much fucking noise because I was doing Jim Carrey impressions.
You're talking about.
I was in the tree stand going, "All righty then," and my dad was like, "No, it's."
Do you mean to say that your dad wished somebody would have stopped you?
No, they was unstoppable. Oh, can't stop me. Yeah, no, that was the one and only time he took me. So.
I've been hunting a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pheasant hunting is kind of the thing to do where I'm from.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and like you can start hunting when you're fucking 10 years old.
Oh, yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like not go along with your dad. I mean, like they straight up give you a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's wild.
Oh,
no, yeah, I'm from Texas. I knew very many people who were. They had their parents were teaching them how to shoot, not even shoot, but go out and kill things when they're 8. Mm-hmm. You know, let them hold a rifle that they probably couldn't even hold because of their size.
We have listeners in the UK, so shout out to everybody. Yes, we are insane. Everyone's insane. We give children guns and tell them to.
I've shot a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't feel great.
No, I've just shot targets. I never shot anything.
No, I've just shot stupid birds.
Yeah, birds. Did I shoot a squirrel with a BB gun? I feel like I did. I don't know.
Damn, brutal.
Yeah, terrible thing to have done. So First Form starts off in St. Louis, Missouri in 2008, and it was founded by these two brothers. Sal, he calls himself the president of the company, and his name is Sal Frisella. And then there's Andy Frisella, who calls himself the MF CEO.
Sounds like he drinks this energy drink.
Oh, yeah. Wait till I show you his picture. Sal seems like a pretty average guy. Andy looks like a steroid freak. He is. This is Andy. We'll throw that up right there so the
He
people
looks
can
like
see
a
it.
jacked Anton LaVey.
Holy shit, he does. He does. And this is like a black and white photo too. So he's definitely a white man, but he's tanned and tattooed. But yeah, he's also a big Trump guy. He's a big ivermectin guy. He loves Israel. He hates Anthony Fauci. And in 2021, and this might be one of the reasons that he does not appreciate the health arm of the government, the FDA sent First Form a warning letter after mislabeling their various hocus pocus potions and powders on their websites as being pharmaceutical grade and helping to cure and treat various afflictions and diseases. But of course, this is probably not going to be an issue now with the current administration. So, yay.
Okay, I want to give this a 5.
Now that you know this. And I will say, like, doing research on this, I looked at this for, it's just looking at different stuff for about an hour. My entire Facebook is now First Form ads. After Googling this guy twice.
Hell yeah.
So whatever algorithm shit they're paying for has latched onto my social media like a lamprey, and it's not letting go. So I'm going to have First Form ads forever. But they have something called the Legionnaire program. And I'm not saying this, but many people are saying it is a pyramid scheme.
Oh, an energy drink pyramid scheme? We've never covered that on this show before.
If you have any sort of social media following and you're like a fitness person, then First Form will like contact you and be like, we'll sponsor you or whatever. And that just means sending you products that you're, again, much like the Cybertruck, not allowed to return without paying a big fee. And, you're responsible for getting rid of.
It's called the Legionnaire program.
The Legionnaire.
I am so sick of guys romanticizing ancient Rome, and they're not fucking any twinks at all.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
Sometimes those steroid tattoo guys are really into that.
Yeah, that's true. When you assume you make an ass of you and me.
Well, and you might, I don't know what you think of this. He has Andy on his personal site has a fitness program called 75 Hard. And
he's training to fuck twinks. Let's be honest.
He's coming through like the St. Louis Railroad. He calls 75 Hard an Ironman competition for your brain. And of course, you can't click on this without giving him money. So I have no idea what that means, but I'm just like, please tell me it's just this guy screaming at you.
So this is his like New Testament.
Yes.
Is what I'm thinking.
It's the 95 Theses, people reading how to win friends and influence people weren't going hard enough in the fucking paint. So they need 75 hard.
We laugh, but that was kind of Reformation, but go on.
Yeah, that's right. So it should be noted, First Form loves cops. They especially love the St. Louis cops. They supported them after they murdered Michael Brown, and they supported them after they brutalized their citizens in Ferguson, and after they physically beat my friend in that same protest, who was a journalist at the time. So love the cops, but they're not above criticizing them. So Andy Frizzell made news last September when he went on his Real AF podcast. And that is where he said this.
You guys can't just go around fucking forcing your shit on everybody like you're the goddamn fucking Gestapo.
So for context, he is talking about police officers, but specifically female police officers. So with that in mind,
of course.
Yeah, so he's talking about lady cops.
And I think that's where people get pissed, bro, because there's a lot of police officers, and to be completely honest, especially women police officers, who fucking try to emasculate men.
So we got that going on. So, all right.
Are they supposed to be arresting them and pinning them down and being like, you're still a man, though? Yeah, you're a tough guy.
I want a man to physically bind my hands and tackle me.
75 of them, hard.
And overpower me with his big, strong arms.
The idea this guy is gay is becoming more and more and more very real.
Oh, this is it's going to get disturbing here, frankly, in a second.
They try to make men feel like they're being dominated or they're being, they have power over them. And bro, the quickest way to escalate a situation is to do that to a grown man.
Okay, so the quickest way to escalate a situation is do your job.
Yeah, the way to escalate. If you just arrest him, you're going to escalate the situation.
Like, you're not going to find me sticking up for cops on this show, but in this case, it's like I want every female police officer to arrest this guy every day.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah. It's like they want to say they have power over you. They do.
Yeah.
Considerably.
Yeah. Also, what are you doing that you're a white guy in Missouri? How often are you interacting with cops? Realistically,
God, these chicks who monopolize the violence of society, they want to act like they have power over you.
It makes me want to hit women even more than I already do.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if he gets into that territory.
Oh dear.
And that's why that's why, in my opinion, women shouldn't be in the fucking field and police officers.
Yeah. Okay.
Has this guy ever been a cop or anything?
Nope. He's just an asshole that started a supplement store in the late 90s and then allegedly did a bunch of fucking steroids. Now his neck is sort of a tree stump shape, and now he runs this energy drink and supplement company, First Form. So no, but he loves the cops and he just wants to keep the integrity of the cops going, and he wants there to be no women on the police force. But maybe he pulls it out of here somehow. Maybe this is like a Bill Burr thing where he says something shocking up top and then he digs himself out of a hole in an entertaining way.
Every woman cop I've ever dealt with, every single one that I've ever been pulled over by, tried to make me feel like a fucking bitch.
You are though.
again, white guy in Missouri, what are you doing that the cops are fucking with you this much?
Also, this is maybe exacerbated by the fact that I am A, a trans woman, and B, sober from all things, including marijuana. But I can't stand fucking man stoner knowledge.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
guy being like, I don't think they have what it takes to serve in the field. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
You don't know anything. You have no experience. You're a fucking armchair quarterback in the game of life, and your energy drink sucks.
No,
How's
that's
that?
not a way to de-escalate a situation.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Especially when you know that if that person didn't have a badge or a gun, you could punch a hole through their fucking face and end their life.
I would
You
say
say
that.
the energy drink's bad, but listen to how worked up you're getting after just a couple sips.
That's his energy drink. You just listen to his podcast and you get full of cortisol and you can take on the world.
I just like that he's like, without that gun, I can end your life. I'm like, that's all cops, though, for the most part. Like,
This is a total, I'm a feminist because I'd punch women too.
Equal rights. Come on, guys.
I'd have kicked Susan B. Anthony in the pussy.
the most shocking little bit, to me anyway, is at the end here.
And they're talking to you like you're a fucking piece of shit. And that's where I do see police officers with the black men.
Okay, so
He can relate to black police
Yes.
brutality from getting pulled over by a woman police officer.
yeah,
Well.
so he comes to a realization about racism and policing only when filtered through the hardwired misogyny, and it's a terrible oppressive system where black people are killed for no reason by white lady cops. Regular man cops, totally different, you know. But yeah, I like that. There's many ways up to the mountain of revelation, and he just found his through the "I hate women" pass.
Yeah, this is what incremental progress looks like, ladies and gentlemen. The system works.
I think that's worse. I think that's worse than just being like the cops are good. End of argument. To be like the cops are good except when women cops attack me.
Also, he's basically saying white men are women.
Yes.
Like, they conduct themselves like women.
yeah. It's amazing. So they puts this out, and Sal. There's a huge controversy because they, as I said, sponsor.
How was it huge? Who's even heard of these people other than us?
So in the Midwest, because I found a first form and by the way, update on my package that I shipped out on December 26th that made it to Memphis and then died. The post office is officially like, yeah, you'll never get that.
Oh.
So I had a first form in the South and the Midwest. This is like everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And they in particular sponsor tons and tons of law enforcement events. Like, that's their thing, is they give all their money to the cops in St. Louis. So for this guy and
So this is a get hyped to murder drink.
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's Sunrise. Yeah.
You want to know a good company in the Midwest? Dots Pretzels. It's made by a lady on a farm in North Dakota, and the
yeah.
pretzels were good, and now they're everywhere, and that's America.
Hell yeah.
Butter flavor.
Shout out to Eric Nelson, who sent us those back in 2020 for the first time. And yes, now those Southwest flavors so good. The honey mustard.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dots is where it's at.
And she murders cops all the time.
She's based as hell, dude.
Yeah.
So the comments were especially ill-timed since the St. Louis Police Department was literally months away from dedicating a new police station named for Joanne Lipscomb, a police officer killed in the line of duty in 1991. So this guy's just like, yeah, I could beat a woman cop to death with my fists. And they're like, we have to send your checks back now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Sal had to walk everything back for his brother, saying in a press release that Andy did not speak for first form and that he vehemently disagreed with his brother's statements. And then, little bitch, Andy removed the podcast and he posted an episode titled, I messed up and I'm sorry. Fuck you. 10 toes down, bitch.
Andy is such a little brother name.
It is, yeah. And then look at him. He's been fighting his whole life to not be that. But if you just look at this man's face.
Google is Hyde.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Let's see.
The only time I've been threatened with violence on stage is for making fun of men's height.
I believe it.
For some reason, the Google AI hasn't gleaned this. Oh, 5'11". Okay, yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's what
But
that's what guys who are 5'8" say.
You gotta remember on the internet they're always like 2 or 3 inches. They add 2 or 3 inches to the data.
Yeah, that's WWE height.
Well, also, I always do the thing where I'm like 5'8", and then a guy standing next to me would be like, no, I'm 5'8", so you got to be like 6'4", I'm thinking. Like, no, I'm 5'8", dude.
yeah. 5'8's loose.
Fucking deal.
It's loose.
Yeah,
And I got heels on.
I caught a guy in front of his girlfriend lying about his height, doing that exact same thing.
Yeah. My fucking dad did it over Christmas. Like, well, you're like taller than me now. I think you were always taller than we thought. No, Dad, you're an old man and you're shrinking.
Right.
Do you think I grew, which is impossible, or that you shrunk, which happens to everyone?
Yeah, so that's the first form people. That's what I found out about them.
You know, I don't like them, but at least their energy drink is delicious.
Yeah. You know, Fifi, we've been doing this energy drink testing thing for a long time now. We have found that almost without fail, every energy drink CEO is either a former white rapper or evil. So this one
And
definitely falls into the latter.
Some could say that's a complete Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Circle on circle, you know?
Yeah. Some of them were either handed an energy drink company by their fathers, or others brutalized their way to the top.
You know this guy's tried to rap just looking at him, you know?
When you said inherited energy drink from your father, I just imagined fucking Anton Chigurh going, you inherited an energy drink from your father. Call it.
Call it. Yeah. Check out the Real AF podcast, folks, with the MF CEO.
I have noticed that's a prevalent thing with Blue Lives Matter guys, is like they love the cops unless they fuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, don't violate my fucking rights. I'll shoot you in the head. Just like, you don't like the police.
Well, also, like, just imagine way back when, like, you know, Johnny Cash performing at Folsom Prison, like, riling up all the murderers so they stab the guards the second his tour bus drives away. And, like, what would he think of a douchebag like this?
Yeah.
I don't know what an energy drink is, but I don't like the look of it.
Damn, I wonder if he ever had one before he died.
Johnny, well, he had Reds and cocaine.
That's what the song Hurt is about. He had a first form energy drink.
Johnny Cash had Benzedrine and cocaine. I think that was his energy drink. Lots and lots and
Oh,
lots
what
of
have
it.
I become indeed?
Yeah. Holy shit. The thing that I was so curious about is, like, how many interactions are you having with the police that you have got an opinion about, like, female officers or whatever? And I'm just like, what are you doing? But if you go to his personal website, not the First Form website, but Andy's personal website, there is a picture of him getting out of like a Bugatti or something. So I think he's just like the one asshole in St. Louis that has like a fleet of sports cars because he's rich.
Can we look at his criminal record? Is that possible to find?
Let's see.
Or at least put mugshot or something, you know?
Also, when he says every woman cop I've dealt with, it's like, I guarantee you got pulled over once and it was like an utterly unremarkable exchange with this police officer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He didn't say shit, and then he drove away being like, the fucking bitch!
Yeah.
No, most of this is just it's just things about the St. Louis Police Department, and all of there's a ton of cities around St. Louis that they donate to, and they all like that weren't part of the St. Louis Police Department that all backed out, like O'Fallon and like all these places were just like, no, we can't keep, because I got the impression that like they were giving, the way that they keep Red Bull in bars and stuff, they were just giving First Form coolers to like cops and firefighters and shit, and they all had to like send them back, be like, nah, man, this is not a good look for us. But yeah.
Well, also, is it like, are you a fucking, you know, self-made renegade who doesn't need anything from anyone, or do you love the police? Because those are fucking mutually exclusive worldviews, dickhead.
He's just a tough guy. He's one of those guys who makes like front-facing videos where he yells at you not to be a bitch and go out and get money or whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's every title too of all of, like, I was like reading all of his podcast titles, and they're all just like, go forth boldly.
Yeah.
It's just shit where you're just like, who's listening?
How is so much of the alpha male propaganda just like bad self-therapy?
It's self-help. It's all bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because our country's national disease is fucking.
It's because the fucking
loneliness.
psychologists are getting flipped off in their cyber trucks.
Yeah.
No one can get help.
It's this vicious cycle of people being like, well, if I get buff, people will talk to me. And then it's like, no one's talking to me because I'm too buff.
How terrible would it be if the Cybertruck therapist were driving to help this dude and she just got a finger on the way and she drove away, leaving him to never improve?
true. Actually, they'd be kind of perfect for each other.
And that's how I met my wife.
It's like, it's like one of those where your two craziest friends. There's like, you guys should date.
Yeah.
It'll take care of itself.
That's a real fucking Harley Quinn and Joker, and I do mean the Joaquin Phoenix version.
Oh, yeah. Also, we know he wouldn't be singing standards. He'd be rapping. I had this one other story to share with you. Again, I was looking at Business Insider. I'm a businessman, y'all. I'm a big businessman.
You are a news guy.
Yeah, and I was looking at Business Insider, and then I was turned over to Fortune, and I saw a familiar face, a guy that we've talked about before, and a particular convention that I'm sad it's come and gone now because I said on this show I wanted to attend this, and of course this is Fortune magazine's behind the scenes of this tech billionaire's Don't Die Summit as extreme biohacking becomes a dominant wellness trend. So we are, of course, talking about one of the early investors / kind of founders of Venmo, a guy named Brian Johnson, not AC/DC Brian Johnson, but the weird shitty one. And
I don't want to die. The highway to hell's never seen me.
The highway to hell is endless for this guy. So on Saturday, what looked like hundreds of people swore off Manhattan's bottomless brunch scene to attend an all-day longevity summit to learn the hacks of living longer.
I hate that first sentence so fucking much.
This is the most I have not left the tri-state area in 50 years opening ever.
Not a lot of good going on there.
Yeah. Attendees of I love the price, $349 Don't Die Summit tried red light therapy, discovered their biological age, and learned from self-proclaimed most measured man in history how to, simply put, not die. So have you heard of this guy, Fifi, Brian Johnson?
No, but I've heard of people like this. Like, I know Peter Thiel does a similar thing, and he looks like a fucking melting wax figure.
This guy is like...
He does. He looks like a freak.
So, like, Peter Thiel's focus, he does all that stuff, but his main focus is just being an evil fuck.
Yeah.
It's like if Peter Thiel diverted his energy away from political power and just focused on having blood boys and stuff like that, which this person does have a blood boy, and it's his teenage son. So, yeah, it could be allegedly argued that he had a child specifically to have his blood transfused into him so he can live forever.
Fucking Elizabeth Bathory? What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Oh, yeah.
No one's ever been more afraid of death than this man.
Yeah, we talked about this guy on the podcast maybe about a year ago, and literally he was going to like an island off the coast of Honduras to get like treatments. I'm like, it's Dr. Moreau. It's the island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah. This happened. Not only is this science fiction, this is like one of the first science fiction stories. So, tech millionaire turned biohacker Brian Johnson, the star of a recent Netflix documentary. Again, this is kind of what you're talking about with Paramount Plus. I'm like, where's the advertisement?
I have to say, I did see this.
You did see this?
yeah, but like I am all in on the Netflix true crime thing. So
I typically am too. I didn't know that this guy had a documentary, or perhaps it was one of those where I saw it on my phone and I was half asleep, and I was like, I can't deal with this guy right now.
Yeah.
Like I kind of need to be awake and focusing and not just being angry as I pass out in my bed. But so Netflix documentary is called Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever. And Brian took center stage to deliver a sermon-like plea to an eager crowd about the power of health optimization to extend life, many walking around the center's longevity amusement park. So he's got
that sounds like a not fun amusement park.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're
just trying to live forever. That's no roller coaster. Nothing where your heart rate goes up.
See, the reason I think I said this the first time we talked about it, but the reason I want to go to this is like nothing makes me happier than seeing rich people get ripped off by snake oil salesmen.
Yeah.
And the fact that it costs $350 to get in here, like nobody has statistically speaking, most Americans do not have $350 of disposable income, let alone for something this fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So you can kind of assume everybody in here is like, yeah, give it to the Flim Flam man. You've earned this ripoff. But yeah, he's got the Longevity Amusement Park, which is a conference area that houses over 20 booths selling supplements, skincare, and high-tech aging hacks. And he was walking around here with a t-shirt that said, "Don't Die," written in bold. And there was also a guy just dressed as the Grim Reaper walking around the conference as well. And I love that Fortune notes, it is not clear whether or not he was official or just that's how a guy dressed up to go to the convention.
No, that is marketing.
I didn't know it was like Comic-Con. People,
If they would lower the price to get in here, this would get so much weirder.
That's so funny.
Because as it is now, it's just a bunch of weird software guys that don't have anywhere else to put their money, just being like, oh, I don't know, I guess I'll eat 20 pounds of banana peels and whatever, clean out my colon or whatever the shit they're doing.
Well, to be fair to these immortal people, like if you were a tech billionaire, would you be in any hurry to like face God with yourself? I mean,
very good point.
Yeah.
Well, and the other point, like kind of the flip side of that too, is like, what are you preserving? What life do you live that you want? You're like, yes, more of this forever.
Yeah.
It's like you sit in an air-conditioned room all day.
Also, have you ever seen a 90-year-old? No amount of blood transfusion is going to make your bones not disintegrate.
Right. Yeah. You're going to get to a certain point. If you are blessed to live long enough, you will get to a certain point where you're like, I'm cool with going.
There's a foolproof way to look younger than you are. It's called taking estrogen. So why don't you do that, you bitch?
There you go. So while on stage, he was joined by his doctor, Mike Mallon, to review his biomarkers live. And he shared his protocols, which include a 4:30 a.m. wake-up call, an 18-hour fast, a diet of 130 grams of protein daily, no cheat days, and a strict calorie count with the motto, quote, every calorie in my body fights for its life.
Yeah, that's not unique. That's like fucking amoebas shit.
So Johnson is famous for taking dozens of supplements daily, testing his body regularly, and taking extreme measures in pursuit of becoming as biologically young as possible. So this is
what kind of, again, he said he was given a test on stage. What sort of flim-flam test, as you said?
Well, so he's got this fake doctor who is, and we talked about this last time we talked about this guy. His doctor is just like, he's paid a man to go out and publicly say, okay, so you think Brian is in his 40s, but biologically he's actually 21.
Wow.
Like they test his tissue or something. They're like, wow, you have the arm flab of a 13-year-old or whatever.
People are so stupid. This is when you realize like everyone at this thing can vote.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and they do.
It's fucking frightening.
This is phrenology. It's just fucking 21st century phrenology.
Absolutely. At one point during the summit, an image of a silhouette of a middle-aged man appeared on the screen behind him with the quote, never let your mind decide. I was like, that is cults 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't let your mind decide.
I hate to be all, little miss sensible about it, but like, how about you just like eat your vegetables and like go to bed on time? And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a biohack. No, it's just like living healthily in a
I feel like one day
God.
he's going to go to a real doctor and they're going to be like, okay, you have the worst kind of cancer we've ever seen. Actually, a new type of cancer.
Yeah. The thing with Brian Johnson is, like you said, much to your point about Peter Thiel, melted candle action going on with his face. And this is like a picture where he's wearing makeup. When you see him on Instagram and stuff, he looks freakish. That's the only way to describe it.
This is like
teach him how to contour. Jesus.
a lot of the facial plastic surgery, too, with people. You look younger, but you don't look better.
No.
Yes. Yeah. It was,
those are different things.
Yeah. Bill Burr said, do you want to look 50 or do you want to look like a 50-year-old lizard? And that's kind of the status here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, never let your mind decide. And he spoke about the merits of resisting natural human desire. Quote.
Yeah.
The broader picture here at Don't Die is we're at war with death. We are trying to eliminate, like, I could just hear this in an HBO documentary about the cult where everybody dies at the end. We're here to eliminate death. Johnson said, getting extra enthusiastic at one point when sharing his plan to test the foods most commonly consumed in this country for processing heavy metals and other chemicals. He most passionately decried specifically Lay's sour cream and onion potato chips. Apparently that is the deadliest thing you can eat, according to this guy, as a symbol of the flaws of the modern food industry. And he says he wants to elicit donations to test all foods to see whether they qualify as Don't Die certified.
I just want to say that we are at war with death is like the name of a metal song that should be happening.
Hell yeah.
Like an Amon Amarth, like Viking metal song. You know what I mean? None of this Tool stuff. Join me and you can live forever without an ounce of serotonin serotonin in your brain.
Yeah.
And you can look like Odo from Deep Space Nine. Like, yay.
You can't go into the sun.
Yeah.
Do not go into the sun at all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For lunch, attendees were offered one of Johnson's staple meals consisting of quinoa and vegetables. Guests could also receive a palate cleanser of Johnson's quote-unquote longevity mix, a bright pink bitter liquid concoction of 13 active ingredients to support energy, metabolism, recovery, and vitality.
This is eating disorder behavior.
It is, yeah. It's boner drink plus anorexia happening.
This has the same vibe of like John Kellogg being like, "Yeah, eat my graham crackers so you won't jerk off."
That's right.
To heaven.
That is totally, Road to Wellsville. That's what this is. It should come as no surprise that Johnson, who has gone viral for undergoing a plasma transfusion from his teenage son and admits to loving being in the spotlight as the industry's guinea pig, how many skeptics he has. For one, he undergoes protocols that are not widely tested nor approved by the FDA. Nonetheless, the event attracted both fans and doubters. So he's got everybody coming in, even though he's the main subject. And one look at his Instagram, you're just like, give me the wrinkles.
Yeah.
Give me the wrinkles. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll take crow's feet over looking like this guy.
I mean, buddy, you're literally a tech billionaire, and I guarantee women still don't want you. Like, if you lean into fucking Silver Fox, so you got a snowball's chance.
Yeah, does it say what model Tesla he drives?
Oh, it's the Cybertruck. It's 100. If he drives himself, if he leaves, there was actually a thing where he was on a podcast he went to India. And he was on a podcast with like some CEO of, I think it was like India's biggest like stock trader. And he left halfway through the podcast because he's like, the air quality is too terrible. I have to go. Like shit like that. So it hasn't, you're right. I mean, it's like totally infected his brain. It's not just an eating disorder. It's a living disorder. It's just existing.
Yeah, it just has OCD.
Yeah,
And a bunch of money.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you flew all the way to India to do the podcast and you're like, no.
That just sounds like he's like, I just realized I'm racist against Indians. I gotta bounce.
Also, this is a fucking eating disorder. That's what this is.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
call it what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Bristol Rosenweig, a fractional I don't even know what the fuck this means. A fractional CMO for wellness and beauty brands. I'm just like, you mean
look that up.
defendant number one in the upcoming litigation?
Yeah.
CMO for wellness and beauty brands, who's based in New York, attended the event for both business and pleasure. Quote, "This space is fascinating, and I also feel it's difficult for consumers to navigate what's real and what's snake oil." It's like, it's all snake oil. The fuck are you talking about?
I'm not finding it difficult.
She knows that the booming longevity market is not going away. According to a report from Introspective Market Research, once again, a fake thing.
So chief CMO is a chief marketing officer, but a fractured one.
A fractional CEO.
It means that they are hired as a contractor or consultant.
So she was probably doing the same thing at Burger King last week, and now she's like, no, we must live forever. And then next week she'll be at Intel.
Yeah, some sort of consulting firm having to do with marketing where everyone's evil.
And it's like, if you can discover, like, hey, I am now officially immortal, people will just kill you because it's funny.
So the Introspective Market Research suggests that by 2032, the anti-aging market will reach $2.3 billion. And I say, I don't know how to short stocks, but if someone who knows can tell me how, I will take that bet that it will not. Quote, she says, "I think people are moving further away from general wellness and more into trackable biohacking wellness as well as a general category so people know and can see results and track their progress."
See, there are people right now who their whole job is just making PowerPoints with like tracking biohacking wellness.
Yes.
And they make $270,000 a year.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we were talking earlier about a friend of yours who I believe lives in a closet with 2 bunk beds.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
We went into the wrong industry.
We should have tracked biohacking wellness.
Right. And there's also
The boomers are right.
and there's also people who've been paid very well over the last 2 years to be like, oh yeah, AI is definitely the future, and did not see China making their own for free as a possibility, and now have they're just going to go on to another $1 million job, no problem.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to write an AI movie with me, let me know. I think we just need a couple sentences we can plug in. We can say we wrote it.
Ooh, that might be fun. We could read it on the air.
Oh God!
Ooh.
It would be like 90 fucking pages. God no.
No, I'll tell them to the elevator pitch. How about that?
What if we give it the prompt to make an episode of the Goods from the Woods podcast?
That's the thing is, I don't know if they've scraped us deep enough to where they could, but we'll see.
Bullshit. I'm important.
Scrape me, deep sneak, scrape me. So 29-year-old Anastasia Liakina came because she loves Brian Johnson's energy on social media. Quote, I'm thinking about how to make my body healthier and how to eat healthy and how to keep my body young and beautiful. I'm like, just stop saying body all these.
How many people here weighed under 100 pounds is what I want to know.
At the conference was the collective weight. I mean, yeah, it's got to be, well, again, if you're dropping $350 to get into this stupid thing.
But if you eat quinoa and vegetables every day, there's no way you have muscle mass of any sort.
Last sentence here. The day wrapped up with a 3:30 p.m. dance party, which Johnson referred to as a health rave. And after all...
I am sober and I'm disgusted by that.
And he did this because he goes to bed at like 4 p.m.
Okay.
So anyway, that's
what? It's
happening.
just like soft music playing. It's like ASMR, like gong and flute sounds.
I promise you, it's that DJ music. The two DJs that founded the energy drink that we found. It's just the music in the elevator at the W Hotel, just soft, fucking whatever. And it's just a bunch of like very thin old people just going, yeah, all right, we love this.
You know, I have to say, there's like an LA crystal store.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, and when you walk in, are the ladies running the desk really passive aggressive? Do you walk around going, this is all entirely bullshit?
Yeah.
Of course you do. Women might do that, but we don't do whatever the fuck that was just now.
Yeah.
Like, we might be like, yeah, fuck science. I believe in magic, which is dumb, but at least we don't turn science into something dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and with the crystal store people, it's like, I'm willing to, if you're passionate about your thing, I'm probably not going to pull me over to your side, but I'm willing to hear you out. This is the most dispassionate people in the world. Mm-hmm. These are people who are solely focused on themselves living forever at a great personal expense that could be spent better doing literally anything else.
Do they have plans for like 50 years in the future or what's going on here?
No, they just think they're still going to be sitting in air conditioning and programming or whatever the fuck they think they do for these Silicon Valley companies. They're not contributing shit. At least a crystal lady might be interesting and have some weird theories about how, string theory relates to horoscopes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's more interesting. I will, I got dumb beliefs, I think rock and roll can save my soul. You know what I mean? Everybody's entitled to dumb beliefs, but if you believe in nothing, fuck you. If you believe in nothing and are willing to throw a bunch of money to continue to believe in nothing forever and ever, fuck you.
I'm just imagining America devolving into an all-out civil war, like the end of Terminator 2 at Judgment Day, where there's just blood and wailing in the streets, and then you come out, Rivers, and be like, you know what, I think we can say this is rock and roll.
No, it's a thing, it's a thing. I thought I was raised with like no religion, right? But every once in a while about a concert, I'm just like, oh, this is church feeling. This is you're like, yeah, man, fuck Yellow, listen to that solo or whatever. That's I get it.
That's fun.
I get it on some
like
level.
that.
Yeah. See, I could work at a crystal store.
Yeah.
I'd talk your ear off about this and amethyst.
When you listen to Fish, you're closer to God.
Yeah, fuck yeah, brother. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Dude, you haven't lived till you've heard a 35-minute version of You Enjoy Myself.
Yeah. I sell mushrooms to 19-year-olds.
So that's the update for Manhattan, folks.
Please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. Oh, I'd rather have them cut me up, pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane. The blind can have my eyes. The deaf can take both my ears if they don't mind the size.
We have a segment on the show called Hometown, where we talk to our guests about their hometown. And today, the wonderful Fifi Dosch is joining us all the way from Hub City. Aberdeen, South Dakota. Hell yeah. So I've done the 90 corridor down the kind of the southern part of the state.
Yep.
Not been up to Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's because the interstate doesn't go here. Ironically, we're called the hub city because it's where all the trains would
Railroads,
meet. But
yeah.
now none of the interstate does, which meant our town has just been living on borrowed time since the fucking Grover Cleveland administration.
Wait,
or
they
whatever.
don't have an interstate, and they're the third largest city in
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's wet. Honestly, I bet Brookings is going to lap us because that's where South Dakota State University is, and even though it's a tiny town, it's going to like probably turn around. But like even the biggest city, it's Sioux Falls, which is maybe like 200K. I'm probably more like 125. And like they look down on the rest of us just because they have like TGI Fridays is shit. Like not even that they have any culture or anything fun. They just have the chains. When we got a fucking IHOP in my hometown, people lined up like it was the release of a new iPhone.
Oh wow. Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, they noticed us.
It's like that, though.
That's where I'm from. Third biggest city in the state, it's 25,000 people.
Yeah.
I've been in a small city in New Mexico, and I heard somebody say, we're getting a McDonald's soon.
Yep.
They were so excited about the prospect of McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking deal if you're in a city of that size.
Like fucking Moscow.
Yeah. The town that my grandparents are from, where my dad grew up, Woodland, Alabama, is 20 minutes from Roanoke, which is the quote unquote big city, which, very, very small town. But that's how far you have to go to Walmart or to get McDonald's or anything like that.
Well, we would do this thing where way back when, kind of before online shopping was like a big deal, if it were like a 3-day weekend, like President's Day weekend or something, you would drive down to Sioux Falls or Minneapolis and just kind of like spend 3 days in the mall.
Oh,
just
sure.
kind of load up on shit, clothes or whatever, because you can't hardly buy anything in the town, and you'd go to Camp Snoopy at the Mall of America or whatever, and or you go to Red Lobster to treat yourself. And,
Hell yeah.
It was fun.
Or I ate at the Margaritaville at the Mall of America.
Ooh.
Shout out to the Nelsons. Took me out for fruit drinks and buffalo wings. Well, the city is home to Northern State University, which very, very small state college.
Yeah, ain't nothing to report there.
Yeah, it was one of those where I was like, I don't think I've ever found a university that was harder to find any information on.
Yeah.
Besides just the website.
And it's probably slowly dying too, just because, again, it's getting lapped by SD, SU, and USD.
Yeah.
Not a lot of probably want to go to school in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
No, it's a lot of people they go on sports scholarships and stuff.
Big football school, I think.
Yeah, or else there's the other college in town is forget, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's a Catholic college, and it's mostly just for like a nursing school. For the most part.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't have great memories of being there, if you can believe it, so I don't remember a ton.
We'll get into it in a second.
Yeah.
Here. I just wanted to mention that it is the hometown of Super 8 Motels, baby.
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right.
So here is one review of the OG Super 8 in Aberdeen. Quote, when we checked in, there were several men hanging out at the front desk drinking beer out of pitchers and reeking of cigarettes.
Hell yeah.
I was like, is there a bar in here or just they carried it over?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Super 8. That's normal behavior almost.
Do they have
There should-
pictures?
Also, that's just a review of people at the hotel.
Yeah.
The hotel didn't do that.
They had more complaints, but I just locked in on that specific sentence because I was like, pitchers? Is there if there's no bar, that's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
like, I just fill this up and go
Maybe
drink
that's
it in the hotel.
their version of like the ice bucket, in the hotel room.
That's a level of trashy I've not even considered. Filling up the ice bucket with beer would be fucking great.
How fucking foreign is the idea of a pitcher of beer to us Angelinos? For real, though.
How much would one cost here?
I know.
I grew up in a big drinking city, so I'm like used to them still.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
surprised they're not a little more prevalent here, but I think it's because there's a discount involved, and they're like, "Fuck that."
Yeah. Here's another quote. A lot of shouting from the hall and people yelling about shooting each other.
Really?
Which is not dissimilar from my experience in Rapid City that we covered here on the show, where I had I was just recording with my iPhone, put it up against the wall, and recorded a guy just being like, "Don't fuck with my brother."
Yeah.
So I believe it. Also noted, AberdeenInsider.com lists recent courthouse marriages, but also divorces. I was like, hey, get out of my shit, Aberdeen Insider.
Yeah. The Aberdeen Insider called me like a couple years ago wanting to like do a thing about me being a comic in LA or whatever. And I was just like, do you want to be interviewed? I'm like, fuck no. I don't. First of all, I don't have a shred of a prayer of you getting any fucking trans shit right. Let's make that clear.
Sure.
Like, you're going to fuck that up. Also, like, what do I have to gain?
Yeah. Also found out, and I'm sure you know this might be an answer to one of your questions, but L. Frank Baum, author of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, lived in Aberdeen. But I found out the reason he came there and eventually left. This is before Wizard of Oz, published in 1900. So he's there, about 10 years before, from 1888 to 1891. Ran a fancy goods store called Baum's Bazaar that sold, and this is, I went back in newspapers.com to actually find some contemporary things because they were just saying it's like a fancy goods emporium. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? So went back to the 1800s, and that means, so here's some of the stuff they sold. Oysters, Japanese imports, and fancy candies.
It's very the Wizard of Oz. He's literally the Wizard of Oz.
There's also stores like that in LA.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, they're just, we're going to try everything here. It's a tattoo parlor. It's an oyster bar.
There's a dead stuffed crow in a cage. Get it for your cool girlfriend. That's the point of the store.
What was the one I saw? There was one where it was like, it was a Salvadoran restaurant, but on the awning, and this is on, I want to say Figueroa, like South Central LA, heading down towards the dead big lots on Slauson, where I bought a bunch of these energy drinks over the past couple of weeks. But there was a store where today is a Salvadoran restaurant, but you can still see the remnants on the awning where the store was called Stuff and Whatnot. And I was like, oh, wasn't 0% interest in the 2000s a great thing? Anybody could start a stupid fucking business.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But yeah, so apparently Baum would wander around the store and regale customers with stories about the origins of the items he sold. A simple vase became a priceless artifact from a distant land. A toy soldier was imbued with the spirit of a valiant warrior. His tales were so vivid and enchanting that customers often felt they were stepping into a different world. I was like, he hadn't written The Wizard of Oz yet. This is just an insane guy.
Yeah, also, good a time and mention that as any, L. Frank Baum, staunch advocate for the genociding of the Native Americans. He's a piece of shit, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unexpected and expected at the same time.
So, to further captivate his audience, Baum would don elaborate costumes and act out scenes for his favorite plays, turning the bazaar into a lively stage. And I'm just like...
there is businesses like this in LA where the owner's like, and now I will perform for you while you're shopping for clothes.
I've mentioned it here. Have y'all ever seen that one on Fairfax? It's a store. It's just called Jeff.
No.
It is straight up right next to Flight Club. It's next to all the places where Gen Zers buy like expensive sneakers. So you know the rent is ungodly, but it's an antique store just called Jeff. And there's a guy named Jeff who just sits outside and waits for people to come in, and then when they come in, he follows them around and bothers them. And my mother has been an antique broker since the 70s, and she wanted to see some antique stores in LA. I was like, oh yeah, let's go check out Jeff. And he was following her around trying to like tell her shit about antiques, and we were just like, brother, we know. Chill out, Jeff.
But borrowed time here, Jeff.
He doesn't have anyone to talk to. Let's be honest.
No, and he wears like wacky outfits, and I'm just like, it's so funny because this is totally journalism in hindsight of being like, it was great, and then he did Wizard of Oz. You're like, I think at the time people were like, this guy's a nuisance.
Yeah.
I would hate this store. And also the store only lasted just over a year. They say it failed after a statewide drought, but you know, it's because it was a fucking bad idea, and he was unappealing.
There was a drought. They couldn't get oysters in South Dakota anymore.
Yeah.
Why was he you're out of your fucking mind if you eat an oyster in South Dakota. If you can't smell the goddamn ocean, you eat an oyster, you're out of your mind. Some just brief local news, former South Dakota governor, Ice Barbie and literal puppy murderer, Kristi Noem, was recently confirmed as the new Secretary of Homeland Security. Yay!
Yeah, I hate her guts. By the way, the funniest thing about that dog story is I guarantee it didn't even happen. I guarantee it was something she just made up for her ghostwritten bullshit to make her feel like she's a fucking badass on Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
I mean, I guarantee you didn't even do it. And that's, what an imbecile.
I mean, it's similar to the Andy Frisella thing where it's like, this is a cell phone of a store.
The dog couldn't be trained, so I killed it. Like, even like
I murdered it with
the
my hands.
biggest pieces of shit in South Dakota. Like, just give it away. What's the matter with you?
Also, when you can't train a dog, it's like always the owner's fault.
Right.
Like always.
Yeah.
The state legislature has introduced a bill to stop fluoridating the water. Oh boy, yay. The state legislature has introduced a bill to teach the 10 Commandments in public schools. Not just post them, but teach them.
On brand.
And they have also introduced a bill to sue China for COVID.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, do it.
There's potentially a lot of money there.
Yeah, but I've heard China's got a lot
but
of money.
I thought COVID didn't happen.
Right, which is it?
There was a story about a South Dakota nurse during COVID who went super, super viral about how like she had to tell dying people that like, no, this is in fact real and you're dying. And, like, people would be like, well, can I see my family and get the vaccine? And like, no, it's too late. You're going to die now. Bye-bye.
We tried to tell you.
Yeah, and then she went on CNN. She's like, yeah, I keep telling them they're going to die. They don't believe me. And the newscaster was like, well, okay.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of which, I credit the reason I didn't get COVID when Sam had it, because we did podcast right before he found out he had it. As soon as Trump won his reelection, I was like, give me every fucking vaccine you've got, because that's going away, folks. Well, let's get into these questions real quick. So Fifi Dosch, this is Fifi's tour of Aberdeen, South Dakota. First up, what was the incident?
Gosh, well, I really have to say, like, I'm sure this is like super easy to answer if you're from the South, because that's a place with like character. But imagine the South, but with no character defining culture at all.
Just stoic Lutherans.
That's the Midwest. But like what popped into my mind was when you said that is when in the summer of 2006. I remember because I was literally driving home that night from it was my end of my first year from college. I was driving home from Omaha, Nebraska, and it was raining the whole way. And I get home and it's like I see my parents, hi, how are you, whatever. And it's like, hey, we got our sump pump is gonna flood because it's raining too much. It rained so fucking much that it flooded. Like, it was the worst flood like the Midwest has ever seen.
Oh shit.
Ever. And what happened was it flooded all of our cemeteries.
Oh,
so
fuck.
for the longest time, coffins were just bubbling out of the ground, floating around. By the time it finally went down, which took a long fucking time because, like, oh my god, they were just lakes.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like the running track at my high school was just like a river. Like it was just water, but then like all the cemeteries bubbled up and like people were like canoeing in like streets and
shit.
It was wild.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. Yeah. Oh, what a good like beginning of a horror movie.
I know, right? Yeah.
Question 2. This might be hard to answer as well. Local legends.
Oh god. I mean, again, we don't have any famous moonshiners, but like what comes to my mind, there's a family in our town. I'm not going to say their name, but they run like the big grocery store.
Okay.
And they're like, you would think they're the family from fucking Dallas, like, or they're like the douchebags from Yellowstone because they run the grocery store in town. Like,
the Safeways.
Yeah. And like, I've known a couple of their kids and like, they're all right people, but like, they're such like, I remember we were going to get a Walmart in our town. And like
we go to war tonight.
No, that's what they did. That's what they did. They were running around trying to get like collecting and fuck Walmart, by the way. But they were running around trying to sign a petition to not allow Walmart here. And it's like, on what grounds?
Right.
Like you don't have a case here. Like I mean, I wish you did. But like literally everybody was like, y'all did the same fucking thing. Like we used to have a little main street full of little grocery stores, and you did exactly what Walmart did.
Right.
Except just at a bit because you were a rich family, you had the capital just to snuff everybody out.
Right.
And now it's like, oh, like you hear people talking, it's like, oh, they're a such and such. I'm not going to say their last name.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God.
We call them the Krogers, the Safeways, the Ralphs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, and it's just, I don't know. And
so, like I've mentioned, in the last.
They tried that in Austin when they wanted to open up some Walmarts. They were like,
H-E-B?
we need to do something.
Yeah. To hear them talk, you'd think they were the fucking Atreides just controlling the spice. Like, settle down.
Yeah. It's similar to what I mentioned with the AI thing, where it's like, you spent all this time stealing from everybody, and then someone AI'd you from a Chinese company. AI'd you. Fuck off.
I went pheasant hunting with Dick Cheney. Shut the fuck up.
Was that guy from there?
No, he's from Wyoming. But but that's another thing. Pheasant hunting is like the big thing in where I'm from, which basically, and it is fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like you walk through a really thick cornfield, dogs run around, and like pheasants pop up, and you have to determine if they're meowing male or female. If it's a male, you can shoot them.
Yeah.
Based. And then and that's what you do. And like so many like politicians come to my town and area to shoot pheasants. Like I know Dick Cheney comes there regularly. Like Tom Daschle would invite people there all the time. By the way, another famous person from. No, we're not there yet, but. Yeah, like so, like basically, like the Illuminati comes to my town to kill small animals every October.
Question 3: worst bar?
Well, I got 2 answers for you. There's one, it's called Loggers, and why I hate it is because it's kind of become like the my high school reunion bar.
Is it loggers like
yeah.
the beer or loggers like the trees?
No, loggers like the beer.
Oh, okay. Right
And
on.
like that's all well and good, but it just turns into high school again. And I have to say, I went back to there for Christmas for the first time in like 5 years. Ran into a ton of people. No, I had a lovely time there. Everybody was super cool. It was fun catching up with old people. But just like when you go back to this shit bar, it's just fucking 2005 again. And I'm like, I'm stepping on peanut shells and I want to go home. But I would say
yes.
the worst one is this bar called the Circus. It fucking stinks so bad. It just feels so greasy. Like it's like a running joke in town. Like, oh, you smell like the circus. Like you can't go in there for a beer and like walk out and not need a shower.
God, that's such a like cartoonish bad bar name. I love that.
right?
The
Me too.
Circus.
Yeah.
That seems like it would be the unofficial name. Just like, wait, did you say the freak show at the circus,
Yeah.
bro?
And
Like,
it's also just dreary Toby Keith playing nothing particularly special about it. Kind of. Yeah. It's not even circus. That would be fun.
well, that's also, I mean, you know, that's the worst, the worst / best casino. Question 4: best local food.
Okay. The thing we have in town that you're probably not going to find anywhere, we have this thing called tiger meat. And it's basically like a tartare.
Basically.
And people get it on Christmas, and it's like a, quote, specialty, but it's basically just like raw, heavily seasoned beef with like raw egg that you eat on like club crackers and stuff. Uh-huh. And like, I don't know, it's like a thing you have on Christmas if you're fancy pants. It's not even particularly good.
Yeah,
like,
it's got onions. We talked about, I forgot what happened exactly, but that's a big thing in Wisconsin as well. Tiger meat sandwich, and we talked about this on the show where there was, you know, people were just like, I got sick for some reason. You're like, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Question 5: local ghosts or monsters.
Okay. Now, this is a thing. I bet if you asked other people from my town this, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
But I've heard a couple people tell me this story. Our local kind of cryptid are called hay people.
I already love this.
And you know how like in like you see a bale of hay, there's like the little knot like right in the middle. Uh-huh. You know? The hay people were like a cult of people who had their fingers and toes chopped off. And they sleep in the middle of the hay bale. They have no fingers and toes and no features. And what they do is they crawl into farms and kidnap kids.
No features? So it's like Slender Man?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
exactly. Like cut off everything, all their ears and nose, and they kidnap farm kids and turn them into hay people.
Whoa.
And then they go and do it to other people.
Oh, that fucking again. Who? Wait, this is all right. We gotta combine the flood with the coffins rising from the ground, and the town is like fucked because all of the demons are coming from hell with the flood.
This would be a dope horror movie.
But then the hay people are like, they're like the T-Rex at the end of Jurassic Park to eat the raptors. They kind of like save the day.
yeah, so it's like Kong versus Godzilla, only it's hay people versus grandma.
Hay people versus my zombie great aunt. Fuck yes. And the last one, favorite thing that's not there anymore.
Okay, we had a little diner called Scotty's that was typical, like old people go for breakfast to get like diner pancakes. Everybody smokes.
Yeah.
The smoking section is literally like the left side of the room to the right. There's no divider in the middle.
I can smell it now. It's the syrup,
You know,
the syrup, eggs, and cigarette smell.
Old people hang out there all day, but then they have would have burgers and fries, typical kind of things. But like the special thing they would get is they would have fried chicken gizzards. You get like a basket of gizzards.
Yeah.
You could do that, and they had something called the Rebel Burgers, and it's just like it's just a really greasy triple cheeseburger of like 3 very thin patties.
Nice.
Greasiest thing you've ever had in your life.
Ooh.
Wonderful. It's
yeah.
not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because also it looked gorgeous too. It had like that like Googie architecture, I think it's called, you know?
Yeah,
Super fun.
Like kind of Art Deco with the clean lines.
Yeah,
and everything.
like the Jetsons
Yes.
shit. It's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
It's not there anymore because it got bought by a Trumper who turned it, and I swear to God, this is the name. It is now called Daddy's Sports Bar. Doesn't that suck?
boy.
Doesn't that suck so much?
S sports bar.
I know.
Oh no, Jesus! Yeah, my one, kind of like a couple days that I spent in South Dakota was kind of on the other side of the state, Rapid City, as I mentioned, and Sturgis area. And our mutual friend and fellow South Dakotan Brent Schmidt was the one who told me to go get some fried steak nuggets at Sturgis, and that was pretty rad. And but my favorite part was going to the city of Deadwood. And I told this story on the show, but I think you'll appreciate this. There was a t-shirt shop that was 99% Trump stuff.
Yeah.
But then they had the occasional Deadwood thing, like from the TV show, the HBO show. And in the front window was important to note, it doesn't say Deadwood anywhere on the shirt. It's just a picture of Al Swearingen, and underneath it just says cocksucker. And that's it. And I was like,
Also, hot take, but Al Swearingen would not like Trump. He would think he's an absolute bitch.
oh yeah, definitely. But it's just funny. I'm like, if you don't know the prestige drama Deadwood, you're just wearing a shirt around Deadwood, South Dakota that just says cocksucker with a cowboy on it.
I mean, that's a pretty good shirt. I'm not going to lie.
It sucks because it was just in the window. It was one of those, like, it was an old shirt and you could tell it had like kind of sun faded. It was just in the window. He didn't have one. Otherwise I would have bought it, but it was like in a small.
You ought to buy that if you're a listener of the Real as Fuck podcast.
73 hard. Cocksucker. Get on my. Let's do an Iron Man competition with my mind. Like, yeah. Well, that is the tour of Fifi Dosch's Aberdeen,
Yay.
South Dakota. Yo, we have time for just one more segment. And of course, this is our jam of the week.
Weight on my shoulders, all I'm trying to do is
Oh, hell yeah. So I knew Fifi was coming here, and as a South Dakotan, I was trying to figure out the band that has played the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally the most. And from what I could tell, unfortunately, this might be it. And I am speaking, of course, of Las Vegas, Nevada's own terrible band, Five Finger Death Punch.
Really?
Yeah. So they play the what is it, the Buffalo Pie or whatever the name of the concert at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally every August. They've played like every year for the last like 10, 15 years or something. The far and away the most popular act as far as I can tell. This year they are headlining with ZZ Top and Jason Aldean and not Kiss, but the Gene Simmons Band. So everybody get excited for the Gene Simmons Band.
So every biker is like 60 now. Is what I'm gathering from that.
And another thing, kind of like the wellness convention, people are getting priced the fuck out of being motorcyclists. Like it was like at one point, like a very kind of like working class sort of aesthetic where it's like, yeah, man, I ride a bike. It's like, you can't afford a fucking motorcycle now and like a Harley. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, now it's like like dentists who you know pay to have their Harleys trucked in. It used to be like, hey, I'm a World War II veteran, and I have PTSD and I hate my wife because I'm gay. I'm gonna drive up there and sell meth now.
Well, sounds better.
Well, that aesthetic very much lives in the comment section for Jekyll and Hyde is the name of this song. So it's about having a dark and twisted mind that nobody can see.
This is fucking deep. This is fucking deep.
And I should mention that the guy Ivan Moody, the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch, was absolutely credibly accused, and I believe at least it resulted in a divorce from his wife for pretty extreme domestic violence that I read about. So that's what we got going on here, and that was in 2015, and that's the same year this song came out. So everybody in this comment section that's a fan of this band is commenting with the full knowledge of what this guy did. So anyway, with that in mind, this song is from their 2015 album, Got Your Six. And this song has 141 million views, 21,829 comments, and I read every goddamn last one of them. So now, let us dive down briefly into the YouTube comment section for Five Finger Death Punches, Jekyll and Hyde. First up, Brian Vaughn, 11 months ago. Who goes behind someone's back and deletes their jack-off sections? What a man or woman does behind closed door and they don't want no one to know about. But this time, we handle their asses.
Brian Vaughn is very mad at his parents right now.
Now, this is an American.
Calling it, also, I don't know, I think he means selections, but calling porno your jack-off selections or sections, indeed, is fucking hilarious. So
Also that he's downloading porn.
yes.
Doesn't have the connection to stream.
I mean, hey, it's a lonely out in those prairies, you know what I'm saying? Casey Fleming, 8 years ago, my boyfriend was laid to rest to this song, and then it's 2 smiley heart eyes emojis and XOXOXO.
This is such an ex-boyfriend band.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't want to talk about it.
Is it good that at your funeral they're playing a song called Jekyll and Hyde?
Yeah.
One of those is bad.
Right. This is this next one here. Samantha Shaw from 8 years ago. My ex just sent me this song. Should I be concerned? It's like, girl,
Yes.
get a gun.
Oh,
Get
no.
a gun, small enough to keep in your purse.
Well,
and
I mean, we've been talking about immortality, and Least She'll Live Forever as a fucking Netflix documentary after he kills her.
yes,
Girl, please get safe.
Yeah.
It's from 8 years ago. I hope she's okay.
I know. Yeah, I should have clicked to see if she's still making content. Alan Lamb, 3 months ago. This is how I feel right now after I found out my wife slept with another dude.
Can't imagine why she didn't feel fulfilled with you.
Rachel Cravens, 8 years ago. I'm just a 40-something-year-old bitch that would love to just meet you guys. Hell yeah.
Oh, Rachel seems pretty cool.
I feel like that's a Bangladesh scammer guy.
Well, maybe not, because Jody Lynn Lambertis still feels the same way 8 years ago. Ivan Moody, heart eyes emoji, heart eyes emoji, heart eyes emoji. We can be deranged together, because I'm a sick bitch as well. Hell yeah.
These people rule. I got nothing bad to say.
But also, it's like, you guys have Wikipedia, right? You can read what he did to the woman he was married
Well, this
to.
is a sick
yeah.
bitch we're talking about.
I guess. Mike Laird, 8 years ago. Aw, you have demons? Aw, ooey, ooey, ooey. You're just a bitch. I love just directly harassing the band.
I love to get a hater comment.
Oh, they hate
Please,
him.
Mike Laird be 12 years old.
No, I clicked on his profile and he did appear to be, he had the backwards baseball hat. He looked like the out of shape version of Andy Frisella, actually.
I saw a video, one of those like Gen Z reacts to video, and it was Gen Z reacts to Limp Bizkit, and the top comment was, "Lot of testosterone in these songs."
Yeah. That's what the world used to look like. Live Fast, Die Hard 1 month ago. I wear a smile on my face, but there's a fucking legion inside, and that's all caps. So he just wanted you to know he is dangerous.
There's a whole legion of Roman men fucking my ass, brother.
75 hard. Kimberly.
Live Fast, Die Hard, the username. That man takes himself so seriously.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Kimberly Horgan from 6 years ago. This is the song I play when at school to pick up my child. It really gets to the old people and makes them want to fight a pregnant woman.
How are the men so uncool, but the women are so awesome?
Well, this is also kind of like that Tesla Cybertruck one where it was like everyone gave me a thumbs down. It's like it probably happened once.
Yeah.
It seems like you just
You're scaring the kindergartners.
yeah.
It's nap
This
time now.
pregnant woman could whoop your ass.
This one is I love this name, Sam Fisher, Quantum Life from 9 years ago. This band is going to rock my freaking world come late October in Phoenix. My wife's birthday surprise is going and meeting the band. Five Finger Death Punch is pure Americana. Free thinkers, lovers of firearms, gods of capitalism, supporters of veterans, muscle car enthusiasts. Doesn't get any better. I'm like, does your wife know who this band is, or are you just making a woman go to this?
That's what I was going to say. My gift to my wife is meeting my favorite band.
That is what it
What's
sounds
wrong
like.
with this bitch?
That's what it-
There were no
Baby.
signs of my divorce.
billionaires.
Baby, they're muscle car enthusiasts.
They are gods of capitalism. Look how many people are outside of this empty warehouse in Vegas. This one is IDC from 9 years ago. 5 fingers saves my sweet soul, bleeds my needs. 60 to 20, 30 to 50. I'll always have heavy shit on my shoulders, and I will fight until I drop. I will rock hard until I lose it all and stop. Makes me strong with my music blasting through my bones. Stand tall for our troops. Get up off your ass and do it.
This man is so drunk. That's the drunkest guy with no one to talk to.
Hey, I can do a balance beam when I'm fucked up. Did you know that?
This is the comment of a man who can bench press an unimpressive amount.
Annie Thulin from 2 years ago. Did my boyfriend ever get out of the prison you bitches sent him to after that fight in the park? Now, I have looked for this name in YouTube. I could not. This is the only post she ever made, as best I could tell, unless she has a new account with a different name. And I was like, I need all the information because it's perfect.
Yeah.
Also, who's she talking to? Did my boyfriend ever get out of the prison? It's like, he's your boyfriend. Why don't you know this?
Well, that's what you do when you need someone to babysit your boyfriend. You leave him with 5-finger death punch so he won't get bored.
And then he fights him in the park.
Got a couple more here. Jeremy J, 8 years ago. My wife hated me and how I got when I would play this song loud and she could hear it. I told her to fuck off, and now I'm on my own. But fuck yeah, I still love this song.
Wow. This song was the cause of my divorce, literally.
I think they're both better off.
yeah,
absolutely.
Just that phrase, how I got when I would play this song. I was like, what the fuck were you doing?
Drunk, loud, and violent, I'm assuming.
I see. I'm assuming this is a campfire building. Hey, I could watch me jump over this guy.
It's either that or it's very like he just was a shitty bad husband. It's because I'm too badass.
Oh yeah. That's definitely part of it. I'm just
5-finger death punch validate me.
This one is Scott Woodham 5 years ago. I love this song when I've drank a fifth of Jim Beam. I just did that. So kiss my ass if you don't approve of that. It's my wife's anniversary. She lets me do this every year on March 9th.
Her anniversary?
Yeah, what?
What an amazing way to put it.
March 9th? That's the anniversary of Notorious B.I.G.'s death. Don't get that drunk.
She lets me do it every year on March 9th. I didn't get violent. Didn't get mean. I'm on vacation this week, though. Hallelujah. I can do this every night until Saturday. I'm going to have to not do it Sunday, though. My wife said, you don't like it? My wife said, you can kiss her ass, too.
I'm not sure she said that.
I think she might have said the opposite. Don't drink a fifth of whiskey every day until Saturday.
Yeah.
Calling it my wife's anniversary is so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
It's like, it was her fucking idea.
I think what your wife actually said is, please run to CVS and buy me more foundation from when you've beaten me. God almighty. I hate these people.
Drink this bottle of whiskey. I'm going to go cheat on you for our anniversary.
And finally, Reese G. Fresla from 6 years ago.
That's not a name.
With a very specific complaint. 6 years ago. There's only one person in this band that I don't like, and that is Zoltan Bathory, because he called a Navy veteran a liar when he didn't know shit about the Navy. All Zoltan cares about is guns, and Navy fleeters don't really use guns like AKs or M16s or the ARs, since ship comes equipped with much larger guns. The rest of the band are awesome. Zoltan, not too much. Too much of a gunhead, not enough of anything else worth talking to.
Damn, the emasculated Navy man.
Yeah.
Like, what is your deal with... also, we all know you don't fuck with the Zoltan, right?
That's how you sound when you're insecure about being in the gayest branch of the military. He's too much of a gunhead because he doesn't respect that we have bigger guns.
We got 50 cals, motherfucker. That is... Jekyll and Hyde from the dark and twisted Sturgis headliners. 5-finger death punch, our jam of the week. Fifi Dosch, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Fifi Dosch, FIFIDOSCH. And if you liked my podcast stylings, I do a podcast with Robin Tran called Skin Suit. You can find it everywhere. Yes, that's a Buffalo Bill reference because Queen. And give us a check out if you'd like. We'd love to have you, folks.
Hell yeah. Well, Sam, where can people find you on the internet?
Sam Harder 666 on Instagram, Slam Harder on Blue Sky, the Goods from the Woods YouTube page every Thursday at 5 p.m.
We're streaming.
You can find me streaming.
We're streaming, folks. Check us out.
Last week I went out in the rain.
Yes.
Ruined my clothes.
That's right.
Saw cars that were flooded. It was a torrential downpour last Thursday.
Yeah, and then we made it to the open mic afterwards. So
yeah,
good times.
We went to an open mic in Bob's Big Boy because one of the viewers paid for our dinner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, shout out to Logan. We went to Bob's Big Boy. Big up David Lynch, R.I.P., all that stuff. And I got the open faced turkey sandwich, which is like a little Thanksgiving dinner, right on 2 pieces of bread. Quite delicious. Thank you so much, Logan, and thanks for everybody who joins us on the youtube.com/thegoodspod. You can find me on almost all forms of social media at Rivers Langley. You can follow the show on Blue Sky at The Goods Pod. But really, if you want the real shit, folks, you know where to go. Linktree.com/The Goods Pod. Join the Discord. We're on there Sam and I are on there all the time. Carter comes on when you summon him 3 times like Beetlejuice. Other than that, but you can talk to me and Sam all goddamn day. We love it.
And congratulations to Sarah and Ted from the Discord.
Yes,
they're getting married.
They're getting married. Yes, and I am a minister in the state of Washington. So hey, I'll hop on the plane. Don't threaten me with a good time. I love weddings. So yeah, shout out to Sarah and Ted. And I wanted to say shout out to friend of the show and friend of life, Scotty, aka I wore him today, Leland Brothers from the Brothers Band. He became a dad today. So shout out to Scotty. Yeah.
Aww.
So hell yeah.
I like this part of the podcast.
Yeah, this is the fun wrap up. That's not insane.
We don't always just give you poison. Sometimes we talk about positive things.
Yeah, hell yeah. Buy a shirt, prowrestlingtees.com/thegoodspod. Best way to support the show. Hey, if you're watching this and not just listening, you are already doing it. It is patreon.com/thegoodspod. Second best way to support our show. Head to Apple Podcasts or Spotify. 5 stars only. Please leave a comment, rate, review, and subscribe because that shows the attitude of gratitude. And if you do not have the attitude of gratitude, Daddy, you're going to miss your wife's anniversary.
I see you looking at my junk from across the bar. But let me stop you before you get too far. Yes, I used to be the free-loving type. A different girl in the bathroom at Denny's each night. But I finally changed my man-whore ways when I met a girl who made this dog stay. The only girl who could hold me down was 6'5", 300 pounds. The only girl who could ever make me stay true had a violent streak and knows ninjutsu. She proudly fought in Afghanistan. Not in the Marines, she was bare knuckle boxing. I'm in the attic chained to a 4-post bed. She only lets me out to play shows with Jed. The only girl who could hold me down was 6'5", 300 pounds. The only girl who could ever make me stay said she'd snap my dick in half if I escaped. That's a true story.
Thanks, guys.
The Brothers Band, everybody. The Goods from the Woods was recorded and edited by me, Rivers Langley. You can find our show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by Jonas, the Space Cowboy.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.